Oh, it's gutting, absolutely gutting to lose the game in that manner. It's Liverpool are a top side, and they're dangerous from the first minute to the 90th minute, and they've done us late at the end, and it is a tough one to take. But for large parts of the game, it was back to the Wolves stuff. They had quite a few very clear chances to score before, but you think when you edge into stoppage time and there's 2 minutes left on the clock, and you're still breaking up field and trying to win fouls, so you feel like you are going to nick a point, but it just wasn't to be. But there wasn't really any complaints, so to speak, from me about the game. I thought defensively we were good again. I thought Cody had a good game. Kilman, I'd said I'm not sure he was the answer a few games into the season when everyone was bigging him up, but I think I might need to eat my words on that, because I feel like he's maturing into a very, very good defender. Ait-Nouri again, positionally against Salah, top draw. It's probably no coincidence that the goal came from Salah to Origi once Ait-Nouri had gone off the pitch. Seen a few fans on Twitter moaning at Bruno for the substitutions as well, which I've been critical of in recent games. But Traore looked knackered. He was our only outlet again today. But had a good game. Look back to the Traore of old, kind of terrorising defenders, players piling in. I mean, getting booked. But yeah, I've seen a few fans saying that Bruno shouldn't have took Ait-Nouri off, but he'd gone down like 3 times, whether that was just him playing possum or whatnot. But if he can't continue, he's got to take him off. The Traore one, yeah, like I said, he's our only outlet, but he looked knackered too. So people say that's what you get when you shut the shop and invite pressure. But Liverpool are an unbelievable side, and I feel like with a side like this, you've just got to contain for the last 5 or 10 minutes. When you shut the shop against teams like Burnley or Watford or whatnot, those in the bottom of the Prem, that's when you start to get a bit pissed off with it. But against a team like this, I think you have to and try and manage the game out, and we did so well to do so up until the last 2 minutes. But I do now feel like December's going to be a tough month for Wolves. I don't think we're going to get many points. I feel like today will hurt the fans, hurt the players as much as it does the fans. We have a tough game to go on Saturday at City, where I'm not expecting much, but let's us hope we can pick up a few points in December, and then come January we might be in with a shout, still mid-table. Like I said, I don't think we're candidates for relegation or anywhere near there. I think we'll be comfortably mid-table at the end of the season. But having had such a good start, it's just a shame that the last 3 games have ended in the results that they have with the performances. But better today against a tough side. But we do need to strengthen in January, whether we do or not. Probably isn't going to happen. You know what the club are like; they don't want to spend any money. But it's a real tough one to take. But proud of the lads today; they did all they can, and hopefully move on to City and get that confidence back a bit.
So, Wolves 0, Liverpool 1 at Molineux today. That's a sickener, isn't it? It's a cruel blow for Wolves. An incredibly tough one to take today, having played so well defensively. You could go on whether Liverpool deserved it or didn't deserve it, but yeah, regardless, it is a cruel one for Wolves to take. The players out on their feet at the end. Cody, Semedo, the entire back 5, Ait-Nouri, not inclusive of Hoover, I'll get on to in a second. But yeah, Ait-Nouri today pocketed and absolutely had the most informed player in the world today, and will be an absolute star of a left back in a few years' time. I can assure you of that. He is top quality. Personally, Wolves played really well defensively today, going forward today, between Hwang, who hasn't been good for weeks now. You can go on about the goals he's got. They were all prior to Halloween time, so he has done nothing since then. Jimenez, who couldn't really get into the game, but that's understandable given the opposition he's up against. And Adama Traore was really good today. Every time he got the ball, he carried it far. He really pinned Liverpool back, got 2 of their players booked. Chris Kavanagh today, I don't think we were helped by him. We can't blame him for us losing at the last kick of the game, though. But I don't think we were helped by him. As far as 5 minutes of added time goes, I don't think you can find that. It's a maximum of 4, and I knew it would come back to bite us, because it always does in this league with the big teams. They get the most added time, they get the most everything. So I'm not really surprised that we let a goal in right at the end. But yeah, it is a cruel blow for Wolves. Thought today, Jose Sa, I know he had a Bit of a meltdown for that Jota chance, which Connor Cody, who I'll add again, was excellent today, along with Saiss and Max Kilman, who once again I think will go on and be a fantastic player when he's older. Kilman, really good. Cody has been good for a few weeks now, since probably Villa away. He's been solid in nearly every game Wolves have played, and that block on the line to deny our former player Jota, who was really kept quiet today, along with Sadio Mane and Mo Salah, of course, of which Aït-Nouri completely had him the whole game. But right at the end, Aït-Nouri, you could see he was struggling, but he did come off for Hoover, who was just caught totally out of position after he had a quick run up the pitch trying to carry the ball. Don't know why he didn't pass it to Raul Jimenez on the left wing and run the clock down. There's so many things wrong that Wolves could have done right in order to get that point across the line right at the end. But he's caught out of position, gets done by Salah completely. Ball into Origi and scores on the turn. It is sickening for Wolves, honestly. We got to look at it. It's 1 goal in the last 5 games now. That's really bad. But today, we all think if that goal doesn't go in at the end, it's 3 draws in a row. It's not too bad, 3 0-0s, but it wasn't. We've lost 1-0, and now we go into a terrible run of fixtures, which today was a starter, so if we could have got a point today, it would have really helped us. But now we've got to go to Man City, we've got to play Chelsea, we've got to go to Brighton, and that's never an easy place to go. We've Watford on Boxing Day, which I can feasibly see it being our only win in December. We got Arsenal and Man United both away in succession after that. So today was a big game. We had to hold on towards the end, and we didn't. But going forward, I think, is a massive concern for Wolves at the moment. It doesn't seem to be a clear idea of how we're going to put the ball in the back of the net. You could see Liverpool today. Well, they are a world-class team, of course, but they had an idea of how they were going to score, and how they didn't before the 96th minute, I don't know. But that is down to some fantastic Wolves defending from the back 6, who were really, really good today. I thought Neves, again, showing his quality, and Donker stood him well for 80 minutes or so. But yeah, Hwang Hee-Chang, I don't know about him. He hasn't scored goals in a while. You can go on about him. But if he doesn't score, you don't mind if he's helping make goals or commit towards getting assists or stuff. But he's not even doing that at the moment. So I'd say maybe Podence, who was on the bench today, obviously wasn't able to come on, which is fine. But Trincao came on towards the end for Adama, which taking him off again invited some pressure towards the end. I know he's tired, but maybe advocating taking Menez off and bring Trincao on, something like that. Because taking him off really allowed Liverpool to come on to us even more towards the end. But yeah, it's an absolute sickener for Wolves, with some really tough games coming up after Wednesday. Could have done with that not happening at the end, of course, but it has, and it's got to look forward now. Can't dwell on this for too long. The players will be knackered. They'll have a couple of days off, and hopefully come next Saturday morning, I think when we're at the Etihad, we play well and similar to how we did today defensively. But like I said, the worry for Wolves at the moment is an attack, and we didn't think that would be the case this season. We thought attacking would be easy enough for Wolves compared to defence when we saw the start of the season, when we were raging, when we didn't sign someone like Sven Botman or Coletta Carr from Marseille. But I don't think that's a place that needs addressing in January for Wolves, but central midfielder certainly is. But yeah, to wrap it up, yeah, it's a poor defeat by Wolves. Not for the one to try in, though, and that's why Liverpool are probably going to win the Premier League, because they can scrape late results like that. Wolves 0, Liverpool 1.
Gutted. I don't even think gutted covers it, to be honest. Wolves 0, Liverpool 1. A last-minute Divock Origi goal. You probably could have seen that coming, but to be fair, I thought for the majority of the game we defended well. It was just one of those where I think with our struggle for goals recently, it was always going to be tough to take the game to them and try and get the goals early, because then you leave yourself exposed, particularly on the counter attack, and with their pressing as well on the ball, it was always going to be tough. But I thought we did really, really well. That's the heartbreaking thing about it. I thought we played very well, particularly defensively. I think it shows that we've got, the joint 4th best defence in the league, because they were superb. I thought Max Kilman and Connor Cody in particular were very, very good today. Saiss had quite a few shaky moments, to be honest. It was, of course, him and Sarr that got involved in that little mix-up. But I have to say, Connor Cody has massively, massively proved me wrong over the past few games, particularly over the past couple of months, I would say, since the Villa game. He's been very, very solid. He's been a great leader for the team, as always, but he's now mixing it with good defensive performances. Max Kilman, again, imperious. So good. Bringing the ball out of play, looked comfortable heading the ball. His heading has got a lot better as the season's gone on, and he looks a lot more comfortable. There was a couple of moments where he got the ball and just drove past a couple of players into space. That's what we want to see from our centre-halves. I thought Ryan Aït-Nouri as well, really, really good game. Salah didn't have barely anything. And I think full credit goes to Aït-Nouri for that as well. In the 30 seconds that he was taken off for, we conceded. So it just goes to show how important he actually is and how much his defensive game has improved as he's gone on. He's improving rapidly, and that's good to see. I thought in the midfield, I thought we were okay. I thought the issue was mainly trying to get the ball out because Liverpool were pressing us so high. Our midfielders didn't really have the chance or the space to be able to create too much. I thought Adama in particular was effective at points, but lacklustre in others. I thought there were certain times where his head dropped, or maybe he wasn't pressing, or he wasn't making runs when he should have. But Jose Sarr definitely was trying to aim for him with those kicks, and another fantastic performance by him, by the way. His distribution is just absolutely just immense. It's so good. Considering we had Rui Patricio for the past few seasons, who he was a great shot stopper, but his distribution wasn't fantastic. I think Sarr has got a really nice blend of all the skills needed for a top goalkeeper. So another good performance from him today. I thought Semedo, quieter performance, but still good defensively and had a couple of decent moments going forward. But again, just not really getting anything much attacking-wise. Hwang struggled a little bit, good pressing, but struggled to create much. Jimenez with the same thing as well. There was just a few moments where we could have attacked a little bit more efficiently, and the final ball just wasn't there, which is kind of the case with us this season. But yeah, really, really frustrating to concede that last goal, particularly after Conor Cody's huge goal line clearance. Magnificent goal line clearance. Jota looked destined to score. I thought, roll the eyes, here we go. It's going to be that, we gift them a goal after we've played well. And I don't know how he's blocked it, to be honest. It looked impossible that Jota was going to miss, but really, really good defending. And again, backs up what I said earlier. The goal, though, Keanu Hoover, oh my God, what is he doing? I mean, literally a few seconds after Aït-Nouri's taken off and Salah gets in and manages to get it to Origi and he scores. It was poor from Hoover, gave Salah too much time on the ball, took far too long to clear it as well. I'd forgot he even existed, to be honest, and not maybe the nicest way of reminding us that he did. Yeah, just gutting, really. I saw someone tweet that it was going to be an Origi 1-0, and it was, so yeah, disappointing to have that. But overall, I think an okay performance. I think the time wasting and the going down and stuff, whilst I said earlier in the season that, we should maybe adapt it, I think we were doing it a bit too much at points and it wasn't the best of watches, really. But hey, it was Liverpool. I was expecting 3 or 4-0 today. A 1-0's not too bad, but it's still a defeat. No goals in the last 3 is also a big concern. I think we need to get more going forward. But on to the next one, which is a pretty easy fixture in Manchester City.
It's frustrating. Honestly, football is so cruel. It's the worst feeling to lose in the last minute. It's just devastating. If you come with a game plan of play for a point and you don't come for a point, unfortunately, as much as we defended really, really well today, it's a null and void performance and it's not good because we didn't come away with the end result. Final score, Wolves 0, Liverpool 1. I just don't really know where we go from this. I really don't. The team selection was really, really good. Dendoncker and Moutinho, not Moutinho. Thank God Moutinho was dropped. Ruben Neves. They just work and they're just a good combination to have in midfield, and they looked really, really solid from the first whistle to the last. I was really, really impressed by them. And then, Liverpool just came at us from the gates, from the word go, which, to be fair, we all expected. And we defended really, really well. We put in a really, really good performance, especially Ryan Aït-Nouri, who, for me, he was the man of the match today, did not put a foot wrong at all. He defended Salah perfectly. He also defended Trent very well as well. And he just looked better and better. And he's looking better week by week. His potential is scary to think that what we've got at the club. And it's just like we got better. To be fair, once we broke the Liverpool press and we actually started running at them, we actually looked a threat, and it was actually really, really nice to see what we could actually do when we could actually beat through the press. I know that against Liverpool, it's not going to happen very often. When it does happen, you've got to make the most of the opportunities. And unfortunately, it was the decision making and just the fact we panicked in the final third. we just never really threatened Alisson, to be honest. And it was kind of one of them where you can't be too mad because we've come here for a point. But in hindsight, you can look back at it and think, what are we doing? Second half comes along, it just carries on the way the whole theme's going. Liverpool are pressing at us. Liverpool are the team that's going to score. They looked threatening. And honestly, I thought they were as soon as Diogo Jota got through on goal. But that's why we got rid of Diogo Jota. He'll miss opportunities like that. He just hit it straight at Cody and the replay back. Absolutely superb work from him and Kilman to get back on the line. But the reality is he's just hit it straight at Cody. But then the subs were just... the Moutinho one made 100% sense. Wang was kind of drifting out of the game a little bit, and we desperately needed another body in midfield. And Moutinho came in, and he really produced that for us. And then it was the Adama substitution that I don't get why that sub was made from Lage. His in-game, the only criticism that you can have of him as a manager is his in-game decisions are... It's not great. I mean, it's not horrendous. It's like below average. Adama was the outlet, and Adama was the one who, even though towards the end, to be fair, you could see that he wasn't really working that hard. He's still got the threat and he can still take players out of the game. It was the fact of, you could see Fabinho and Robertson were basically just marking him when he was going on that right-hand side, and they were just too afraid to put in a tackle because he's already produced yellow cards off them. He's a threat that you need to have, but... It was just a poor sub just to bring Trincao on, and it just invited more pressure on us, especially the way that we sat back in the last 10 minutes. Unfortunately, the way the whole game was going, a Liverpool goal was coming. It almost was a simple case of when, and it's just the false hope that gets you. Keanu Hoover coming on for Aït-Nouri. I mean, to be fair, Aït-Nouri was knackered. I mean, I don't really blame him for coming off. But it was just the fact you got Hoover jogging back as soon as Salah has predicted. To be fair, it's a ridiculous touch from Salah. But it's just the way that he's jogging back. And, it's a frustrating one to take as well. But, I mean, the big thing that really, really annoys me, and it's still one of the things that really, really gets me, is the fact that we've got no depth on the bench, which obviously makes Lage's decisions a lot worse than what they actually are. Don't get me wrong, his game management's not good, but Fosun are refusing to back this manager, yet you're going to give Paul Lambert and Walter Zenga more money than what you're going to be giving this previous manager. This manager's got the potential to take us places that we had previously had under Nuno, but he's not been given the same backing that Nuno had. And Fosun are trying to do this sell-to-buy mentality. It's all a load of bollocks to me. We ended on a negative net spend when the season that we sold Diogo Jota. We ended on a negative net spend this transfer window. We also had Europa League money. Where the fuck is that money going into the football club? It seems like these owners do not care anymore. It seems like they do not care about Wolverhampton Wanderers. They just care about milking as much money out of us as possible by doing this whole esports and everything off the pitch. And everything is an absolute farce off the pitch. And look, on the pitch as well, the substitutions, we've got more kids than actual senior players on the pitch. It does not make any sense what the club are fucking doing. Jeff needs to have a long look at himself and think, oh, what the fuck am I going to do? And actually, put your money where your fucking mouth is. You kept saying previously, we was going to be the next Man City. We was going to be the next this. We was going to be the next that. When you make statements like that, you give us false hope. You said COVID wouldn't affect Wolverhampton Wanderers. Yet you're happy to increase the fucking prices and keep pricing fans out of the football club. It is an absolute joke what they're doing. Thank you very much for the memories that you've given us. You've given us Premier League football again, which we're grateful for. But we're not grateful for the fact that we've still seen the most successful time. And we've seen more bad transfer windows than good. Get Fosun out of the football club if they're not going to back this new manager. Thank you very much for having me on Talking Wolves. And enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. Thank you very much as well, Dave, for having me on.